Well, it was an officially abrupt decision when the government announced that there would be no casino percentage coming back to the track for operative reasons. But I sensed there was something was up. Once Great Canadian showed every indication they weren't going to renew the lease that they have with the P&E/City, which comes up in May. When the buzz got out that it may not be renewed, you knew there was trouble brewing, and the government just came in with the knockout punch, taking everybody by surprise.
So what have you heard from others who worked at the racecourse?
Well, I mean, the guy sitting beside me has been there for almost 40 years. But there are so many people, Gloria, that are affected by this. I was just looking at this newspaper clipping yesterday. It said Lisa Russell, she's been there since 1991, and she's the fourth generation of the family that is there. And she said that her son worked at the track and worked his way through college because of it. And there's so many people that are involved, like the little people, I call them. I don't know whether that's fair or not, but you start with the owners. Some of the owners aren't wealthy. This is their livelihood. And then it works down from the jockeys, the trainers, the exercise riders, the grooms, everybody that works in the backstretch, everybody that works at the track, the supervisors, the parimutuel people. It's a real family, and it's been broken up, and it's sad to see.
And the voice of the track, Dan, what's been going through your mind since this news broke?
Well, I guess the biggest thing that I see is we didn't have a farewell. Like if everybody said you're going to be closed next year, we could do things and get people excited and come on out for the final time, but not to be.
Okay.
No farewell tour, as they call them.
Right. Well, tell me more about what we're just hearing now about just how people are feeling about this decision.
Well, I haven't really seen too many people around at the track because the track is closed.
Right.
The horses are off the ground, so it's kind of eerie because there's nothing going on training wise or any otherwise for entry wise or anything because we're shut. So,
okay. Well, how did you start? How did you get the job as the track announcer all those years ago?
Well, it's funny. You know how your father always tells you should have?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we knew, or Dad knew, because he worked for the Vancouver Sun for 25 years in the sports department, actually with Dr. Sport. He said, you should go to BCIT. He says, Jack Short, the original announcer, was going to retire. And I was 22. I was playing baseball. I was going to Seattle every weekend, and, we're going to the track down there and that. And it just wasn't for me because at that point they were racing 5 days a week. So, it wasn't something I thought about. But about 5 years later, he said, hey, what did I tell you to go to BCIT? He said, they're looking for an announcer at Cloverdale. And, of course, we'd always been around the track all our lives. And I said, well, I can do it. And he said, okay, I'll put you in touch with the right guys. And
one thing led to another.
Yeah, well, after the first 4 races, he came down. He was covering it for the Sun. And he said, how you doing? I says, you go tell Mr. Keeling I don't want to do this anymore.
Really?
Because it wasn't the public speaking. We had done soccer games and announcements, and actually CBC covered the Vancouver Sun Tournament of Soccer Champions, and we used to do the goal scorers, the lineups. So public speaking wasn't the problem. It was the cadence and where you wanted to start and where you wanted to stop and how you wanted to portray the race. And but it got easier as we went along.
Well, and you stayed at it for 35 plus years.
I know.
And what was your approach to calling races?
Well, the biggest thing is people have gambled their money or bet their money on the horses, and the biggest thing is to try and be as accurate as possible. And as we see in other things, I don't care if it's a radio host, a TV broadcaster doing hockey games, some people like certain people's voices and some people don't. Doesn't matter what you do or how accurate you are.
This is true.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun for 35 years. And
if I might interject,
please.
This is a guy, Gloria, who can make a 3 or 4 horse race sound like a 10 horse race. It's so exciting. You'd swear listening to him that there were 10 horses on that field when there may be only 3 or 4. He's got that unique touch.
Right.
Sorry, but I had to tell her.
That's okay.
But how special was the experience, Greg? Just going to watch the races in person.
I was just thinking earlier, it's a family thing. people, there's no admission for openers. People would go there with their children, and it was an outing for the entire day, and it wasn't the only. Of course, you couldn't bet unless you were 18 or over, but the kids just love the horses, as you know, and the people that worked at the track, the outriders and the trainers and the jockeys would all intermingle with the children and the fans, and it was an event. And it always was that way, as far as I could see. And you know, the introduction of all of the off-track betting in the sense of casino betting, and like you see advertised on radio and TV now, I'm sure that has had an effect on the actual betting. But again, I say when people go out and take their families to see between races, the Wiener dog races, the Yorkie dog races, it's fun. And that's what it was at Hastings Racecourse.
Right. And Dan, what have you come to appreciate about jockeys from your time there?
Well, you know, we had a young man who came from Mexico City that Glenn Todd took under his tutelage, and he progressed, and finally he got so good here that he was winning everything. Glenn said to him, "Go south. Go to California," which he did. And he ended up winning 2, not 1, but 2 Kentucky Derbies. So it was pretty special to see somebody who we had as one of our own at the track, and to see where he went and how he progressed. And,
well, I'm sure you've seen a lot over the years. And Greg, of course, this opens up the conversation about the future of that site now, right? Without Hastings Park, there's talk an investor could build a new home stadium for the Whitecaps. So what do you think of that?
I have a theory, and that is that I don't think we will see a soccer stadium built there. Maybe Danny has further news or not, but I think with the success of the Whitecaps and drawing 52 and 53,000 people at the games now, and not always, but when it's warranted, I think the whole thing will lead to the owners of the soccer club renegotiating with BC Pavilion Corp and making a better deal where they get some of the concession rights and maybe some of the parking rights. I think they'll stay put. And as for what replaces the racetrack, I would think that the mayor has other ideas that we don't know about.